Do you love metalcore? Do you miss the old days of metalcore? Well, look no further because I've got something for you, brother, and that is this band over here. Oh, yeah! I don't know where that wrestling persona just came on, but hey, we're here. What's up, everyone? It's your boy, Matt Diazable, coming at you with a new music review. Thank you for coming on by. I appreciate it. Today, I'm checking out the latest band, not latest band, but latest album from the band Your Spirit Dies, with their latest album, My Gnawing Pains Will Never Rest. If you don't know anything about this band, Your Spirit Dies is a metalcore band based out of, I want to say, North Carolina. I should know because I've reviewed this band before, but I'm in a rush and I'm trying to remember all the details I can about this band. But yeah, they're a metalcore band that's really riding that wave of, I guess you could say, revisiting the metalcore sound from the early 2000s, similar to bands like Zayo and Every Time I Die, that kind of style of metalcore. And I would say this band is doing a really good job. Whenever I think of metalcore in the current landscape, this is one of those bands that always pops up in my head because they just do it so well. And I think like the last EP I reviewed from them, there were some hiccups here and there, and I feel like they really fine-tuned things with this debut and just really like nailed it on it, this latest album. They're not only paying tribute to that early 2000s metalcore sound here, they're reviving it with venom, purpose, and a sharpened sense of songwriting. This latest album is a vicious, emotionally charged record that does a really good job of blending that, rawness of hardcore, but also the precision and the groove of modern metalcore. It's aggressive, dynamic, and most importantly, soaked in pain. And just from the get-go with this album, the band plunges into some very dissonant and fast-paced riffing that immediately invokes like chaotic energy that is similar to early stage Zayo and even Misery Signals, one of my favorite bands. Tracks like Trenches of Pain and Ritual Sacrament waste no time by just hitting the listener with some very relentless blast beats, jagged guitars, and snarling vocals that just feel very genuinely unfiltered. And I would say the drumming on this particular album is, definitely the highlight here because it's never just really content with, keeping time and, the pace of everything. The percussions really drive the songs with some very creative drum fills and some very explosive cymbal work. The features on this album do a really good job of elevating everything when they're like popping up here. Dan Wyden's feature on the song Serpentine really brings a very gothic edge to the whole presentation, and his vocals really blend in almost just perfectly with the very dense and groove-laden riffs that just make the song really stand out. Likewise, on the song A Snow in Summer features a very fiery guest spot from the No Cure vocalist frontman Baluth Storer. I think I'm saying that not right. If I am messing it up, my bad. He's adding a lot more grit to a very jam-packed song with some very razor-sharp guitar work and just overall chaotic and dissonant energy that feels perfect, like No Cure and Your Spirit Dies. Your Spirit Dies just combining very nicely. And I thought it was really cool how they subtly added, the band's name into the lyrics. Them adding No Cure to it is just top-notch hardcore like traditions just being interlaced in this record, and it just feels awesome. And the band clearly understands the power of contrast as well. Amongst the chaos of this record, there's some moments of stillness that just add a lot of atmospheric weight, like the haunting intros to the song Unjust God and Effigy of Failure, or the very mysterious groove-heavy laced song Shrouded in Silence. These tracks really show like this band is not scared to slow things down a little bit and just let the mood carry everything in a good way. Similar, clean vocals are delivered with a lot of conviction, and it never feels like they're compromised or just being shoehorned in. And I think a good example of that is on the song Unjust God. The delivery here, beautiful. And I would say these clean vocals are not meant to be like, we're trying to make a radio hook song here. These clean vocals invoke a lot of aching, pain, and just they're timed perfectly. They know what they're doing here. The execution is quite clear and they are just really focused. Breakdowns, of course, they're just everywhere on this whole album and they hit hard. But I would say they never feel like they're lazily tacked on or anything. They all feel very cohesively just perfectly placed at the right time. I would say some good examples of great breakdowns are on the songs Born, Forsaken, and Monochrome, because they do a really good job of building the tension very skillfully and masterfully, leading to just very crushing finales that just feel very earned and, you know, not too expected. Even though you're kind of expecting it, but you just don't expect the gravity and the weight of how it's going to be. And I gotta say, there's a really good attention to detail here in terms of flow and structure, because every song on here just evolves naturally and just flows into the next song so nicely, following a very predictable pattern, but it's very, very nuanced. And I would say the production here is doing a really good job of capturing the band's intensity without ever really losing any of their texture. The guitars feel very dense and layered nicely. The bass is thunderous and present, and the drums, they sound huge. Nothing on this album feels buried. Everything about this album feels massive and just locked in. Whether, you know, it's the band's just tight performance playing here or the engineer's ear, everything just sounds epic and massive. Then you have the closing track here, Night Pierces My Bones, that features Carson Pace of the Callous Daoboys. I always mess up that band's name, but I gotta say, it really does a good job of summarizing the album. Raw energy, thoughtful composition, and a commitment to pushing the genre's emotional and sonic boundaries. They just lock in so hard on this last song. The softer midsection of this song has some really great dynamic guest vocals that, you know, they're very metalcore, but at its best, it's not just about the breakdowns when it comes to the metalcore genre. It's about catharsis, storytelling, and just movement. That's why people love this music so much, because it really moves them. So my overall thoughts on this latest album from Your Spirit Dies, My Gnawing Pains Will Never Rest. It's a very relentless and emotionally rich metalcore record that captures the sound and the spirit of the scene, you know, pushing the scene into very darker and more nuanced territory. I gotta say, overall, you know, Your Spirit Dies aren't really mimicking the past. They love to wear their influences on their sleeve, but also they're building something that is very vital to their whole spirit and just building something bigger and better upon us, something that already has a great foundation. So this latest album from Your Spirit Dies, I would have to give it a nice and good and very solid 9 out of 10. Links down below. Tell me what you think about this album. What are some other metalcore classics that classic albums or bands that I should check out? I'm always open to recommendations. And like always, guys, I will see you in the pit. Been thinking good things about you.